There are no facts, only interpretations. Friedrich Nietzsche, you've been in that moment. Stuck in a heated argument, pouring out your thoughts, only to leave feeling drained, like you somehow lost. Your throat tightens as loud voices, co-workers, friends, or family, cut you off, mock your point, or drown you out with smug confidence. You try to keep up to prove you're right, but it's like every word pulls you further from yourself. Maybe you stayed quiet once, thinking it meant you were weak, that not firing back was giving up. But what if everything you've been taught about winning is wrong? What if real power lies in saying nothing at all? Friedrich Nietzsche, a thinker who saw through society's lies, knew that words often betray you. The loudest person in the room isn't the strongest, they're the most desperate. When you argue, explain, or defend, you're playing a game rigged against you. You're showing you care what others think, that you need their nod to feel secure. Nietzsche flipped this on its head. True strength doesn't shout, it stays silent. Silence isn't empty, it's a weapon, sharp and unsettling, that shifts the battle before it even starts. Think about it. You're at a meeting, and someone interrupts to one-up you. Everyone's waiting for your comeback, but you just nod, hold their gaze, and say nothing. The room shifts. They falter, unsure why you're not biting. That's power. Or picture a family dinner where a relative jabs at your choices. Instead of arguing, you pause, sip your drink, and let their words hang. They squirm, exposed by their own need to attack. Nietzsche saw this. Silence forces others to face themselves, revealing their cracks while you stay untouched. You've felt ignored, talked over, or dismissed, thinking you had to speak louder to matter. But Nietzsche's truth is brutal. The need to be heard is a chain. Break it. You don't need to win every argument to win respect. You just need to master yourself. This video is for you, tired of being the easy target, ready to turn silence into strength. Let's unravel Nietzsche's wisdom and learn how to outsmart anyone, not with words, but with the quiet that commands. You're in a meeting and someone twists your words, smirking as they challenge you. Your pulse races, urging you to fire back, to set them straight. Or maybe it's a friend, tossing a casual jab about your choices, and you feel that itch to explain, to prove you're right. Why does every jab feel like a personal attack? Why do you jump to defend yourself as if silence would mean defeat? You've been taught that staying quiet lets them win, that you must fight to hold your ground. But Nietzsche saw through this lie. The urge to react is your chains, not your strength. That burning need to respond comes from a fragile ego, desperate for approval. Nietzsche called it herd morality, a mindset that traps you in caring what others think, making you beg for their nod. When you argue, you're not defending truth, you're defending your place in their eyes. Picture it. A co-worker dismisses your idea and you launch into a rebuttal. You think you're winning, but you're already losing. Every word you spit hands them power. They've hooked you, pulled you into their game. Nietzsche knew that real power doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to prove anything. The moment you feel compelled to justify yourself, you're caught in a trap, chasing validation like a dog after a bone. Why do you let their words drag you into battle? Because you fear looking weak. You've been conditioned to believe that silence equals surrender, that you must clash to matter. But Nietzsche turned this upside down. The weak yell to be seen. The strong stay silent because they don't need to be. When you react, you show your cards, your doubts, your need to be liked. A loud mouth at a party mocks your opinion, and you dive in, arguing to save face. You think you're standing tall, but you're kneeling, handing them the reins. Silence, on the other hand, keeps you free. It says you don't owe them an answer, that their noise can't touch you. You're tired of leaving conversations feeling small, like you've betrayed yourself just to keep up. Nietzsche's truth is brutal. Stop playing their game. You don't need to win every argument to win respect. Let them talk. Let them stumble over their own words. Your silence isn't weakness. It's a signal you're above their chaos. By refusing to react, you take back your power, setting the stage to outsmart them without a word. This is your first step to becoming untouchable. You're caught in a world that never stops talking. People yelling to be heard, clawing for attention, fighting to seem strong. Their words pile up like static, drowning out anyone who doesn't join the chaos. You've tried to keep up, to match their noise, but it leaves you empty, like you've lost a piece of yourself. Nietzsche saw this for what it is, a trap. Most people are chained to the need to be liked, to be right, to be seen. They shout because they're scared of fading away, but there's a rarer strength, one that doesn't need words to command. It's the power of silence, rooted in mastering yourself. Nietzsche didn't care about the crowd's applause. He wrote for those who dare to stand apart, who refuse to beg for a place in the herd. When you argue, you're pleading for their approval, even if you don't admit it. Picture a heated group chat where someone trashes your opinion. Your fingers itch to type a comeback, to prove your point, but what if you didn't? What if you left their message hanging, unanswered? That quiet isn't surrender. It's a spark of something greater. It's you choosing your own ground, refusing to let their noise pull you in. Nietzsche called this the will to power, not dominating others, but owning yourself. Silence like this isn't passive, it's a deliberate act, a signal you're above the fray. Imagine you're at a bar and a loudmouth starts poking at your career choices, expecting you to defend yourself. You don't. You lean back, sip your drink, and let their words fall flat. Their smirk fades as they realize you're not playing. That's the strength Nietzsche admired. Staying calm while others unravel. You're not just avoiding a fight, you're exposing their need to provoke. They're shouting to hide their doubts. Your silence shows you have none. You've spent too long feeling pressured to respond, to fill the air with words just to exist. Maybe it's a coworker who challenges every idea you share, or a relative who baits you into old arguments. You think you need to answer to hold your own. Nietzsche's truth cuts deeper. The need to react is a leash. Break it. When you stay silent, you're not hiding. You're building a fortress. Your calm becomes a force, unsettling those who thrive on your response. They expect you to crack, to give them something to grip. Give them nothing, and you've already won. This takes guts. It's not about being cold or dodging conflict. It's about knowing your worth so well that no one's taunt can shake you. Nietzsche envisioned a person who shapes their world, not by shouting, but by standing firm. Start small. Next time someone tries to drag you into their drama, pause. Look them in the eye. Let the silence stretch. You're not just staying quiet. You're claiming your power, step by step, until their noise can't touch you. You've seen it happen. Someone lashes out, their words sharp, fishing for a fight. You want to snap back, to match their fire. But what if you didn't? What if you stayed silent, letting their attack hang in the air? That quiet isn't just a pause. It's a weapon that cuts deeper than any comeback. Nietzsche understood this. Silence isn't empty. It's a mirror, forcing others to face their own noise. When you refuse to react, you strip away their armor, leaving them raw, exposed, and scrambling. That's the psychological edge you've been missing. Most people don't talk to share truth. They talk to hide their cracks. Nietzsche saw through their game. Their loud arguments, their smug jabs, are shields for a shaky ego. They need your response to feel secure, to keep their story intact. Take that away, and they unravel. Imagine a coworker slamming your work in front of the team, expecting you to defend yourself. You don't. You nod, hold their gaze, and let the silence stretch. Their confidence wavers. They're used to pushing buttons, not facing a void. Without your reaction, they're stuck hearing their own voice, questioning if it's enough. Nietzsche knew this discomfort is power. It flips the script, putting you in control. Why does silence hit so hard? Because it's unnatural in a world addicted to noise. People are wired to expect a fight, a rebuttal, a sign they've landed a hit. When you deny them that, their mind spirals. Picture a heated online thread where someone calls you out, baiting you to argue. You don't bite. You leave their comment unanswered, and they double down, typing more, desperate for your reply. That's their ego cracking. They're not arguing with you anymore. They're arguing with themselves. Nietzsche's insight was brutal. Most people speak to drown out their doubts. Your silence turns their words into a spotlight, exposing the gaps between what they say and who they are. You've felt the pressure to jump into these battles, to prove you're not weak. Maybe it's a friend who always one-ups your stories, or a stranger online who twists your words. You think you have to respond to hold your ground. But Nietzsche's truth is sharper. Reacting feeds their game. Silence starves it. When you stay quiet, you're not just avoiding conflict, you're dismantling their control. They expect you to flinch, to give them something to grip. Give them nothing, and their confidence erodes. That pause, that steady look, becomes a force they can't counter. This isn't about being passive, it's about being precise. Silence, used right, is a calculated strike. Next time someone tries to provoke you, say a relative poking at your life choices, don't argue. Lean back, let their words echo and watch them falter. You're not retreating, you're exposing their need to dominate. Nietzsche saw this as the mark of true strength, not shouting to be heard, but standing so firm in your own power that your silence speaks louder than their noise. That's how you outsmart them, turning their own ego against them without a single word. You're done being dragged into pointless arguments, wasting energy on people who thrive on your reaction. You've felt that urge to snap back, to prove you're right, only to walk away feeling smaller. Nietzsche's genius was seeing through this trap. Reacting is weakness. Silence, when wielded deliberately, is a blade, sharp, precise, and devastating. It doesn't just protect you, it dismantles your opponent's confidence, leaving them exposed. This isn't about staying quiet out of fear. It's about turning silence into a weapon that shifts the power in your favor, catching others off guard when they least expect it. The first step is brutal. Resist the scream to respond. Your blood boils when a colleague throws shade at your work, or a friend makes a snide remark about your plans. Every fiber in you wants to fire back, to set them straight. That impulse is poison, as Nietzsche would say. It's your ego begging for validation. Instead, bite your tongue. Take a slow breath, let their words hang in the air. In a heated team meeting, when someone challenges your idea, don't rush to defend it. Nod, pause, and let the silence linger. Their smirk fades as they wonder why you're not rattled. That pause isn't surrender, it's control. Next, become a hunter of weaknesses. While others talk, they spill their fears, their doubts, their need to impress. Nietzsche's strength was observation, not chatter. At a social gathering, when someone brags to overshadow you, don't compete. Listen closely. Notice the crack in their voice when they mention their job, the forced laugh hiding insecurity. Store it. If you ever need to speak, one precise comment, pointing out that crack, will hit harder than a shouting match. Your silence lets you see what they're desperate to hide. Then, master the art of the pause. A well-timed silence is like pulling a taut rope. Tension builds, and they snap first. In a negotiation, when someone pressures you for an answer, don't fill the void. Lean back, hold their gaze, and let the quiet stretch. They'll ramble, reveal too much, or concede, just to break the discomfort. Nietzsche knew this tension is power. The longer you hold it, the more they squirm. Online, when a troll baits you in the comments, don't engage. Your absence drives them to overplay their hand, exposing their pettiness. Finally, Be unpredictable. People expect you to react the same way every time, defend, explain, or retreat. Break that pattern. When a family member digs at your choices, don't argue like usual. Offer a calm smile, change the subject, or walk away. They're left grasping at air, unsure how to handle you. Nietzsche's ideal was a person who defies expectations, who can't be pinned down. Your unpredictability makes you a mystery, and mysteries command respect. This isn't passive avoidance, it's active strategy. You're not hiding, you're striking where it hurts most, their ego. Next time someone tries to pull you into their game, say, a coworker questioning your competence, don't take the bait. Stay silent, observe, pause, and shift the dynamic. You've been told that keeping quiet is noble, swallowing your anger, nodding through insults, sidestepping fights to keep the peace. You call it maturity, thinking your calm makes you the bigger person. But deep down, you feel it, that sinking sense of betrayal when you stay silent while others steamroll you. Nietzsche saw this for what it is, a lie. That silence you've been praised for isn't wisdom, it's surrender dressed up as virtue. It's a trap, and you've been falling into it, letting others exploit your restraint while you pay the price. Nietzsche tore apart this scam, what he called the morality of the herd. It's the code that tells you to shrink, to appease, to stay quiet so others feel comfortable. You've seen it in action. A boss who dismisses your input, expecting you to nod along. A friend who monopolizes every conversation, banking on your politeness. A family member who criticizes your choices, knowing you won't push back. You bite your tongue, convincing yourself it's not worth the fight. But every time you do, you hand them your power. You're not keeping peace. You're letting them build their empire on your silence. This isn't about strength, it's about fear. You stay quiet because you've been taught that speaking up makes waves, that standing firm risks rejection. Nietzsche called this the slave mentality, valuing harmony over your own truth, dimming your fire to fit in. You feel it at work when you let a colleague's jab slide, only to stew in resentment later. Or in a group chat when someone's sarcasm stings, but you type lol instead of calling it out. That's not balance, it's a cage. Others thrive on your restraint, pushing harder because they know you'll bend. You're tired of this, feeling like a doormat, watching others take space that's yours. Nietzsche's answer is ruthless. Stop submitting. Silence can be your weapon, but only if it's born from power, not cowardice. The silence he championed isn't about swallowing pain, it's about standing so tall that your presence alone demands respect. Picture a tense dinner where a relative mocks your career. Instead of staying quiet to avoid drama, you meet their eyes, calm but unyielding, and say nothing. That silence isn't retreat, it's a wall, signaling you're done playing small. Or at work, when a manager overlooks your contribution, don't rush to agree. Pause. Hold your ground and let your steady gaze speak. I'm not invisible. This shift isn't just about staying quiet, it's about claiming your power. Nietzsche's will to power means owning your truth, not bending to others' games. Don't let manipulators feed on your calm. Next time a friend interrupts you, don't concede. Pause sharply, raise an eyebrow, and let the silence sting. Hit that like button to mark this turning point, and subscribe to watch other videos and keep fueling your rise.